This is that platform. This is that motherfucking platform. I've been urged to add on to what I was started talking about yesterday because I noticed a lot of videos in circulation, and I had been meant to talk about it. And I called it a moment of silence, and TikTok did silence that shit. And I was speaking of the things that go on in the black community, how we I think I can use the word if I understand organic and non-organic, how we organically created a system uh, to help us deal with these issues. And what we fucked up at is when we let them come in and they understand that the things that go on in the black community make sense. But when you over here in the white community, they got more security. They got more of a lot of things. So a white girl getting molested, it does not make sense with all the security they got. You did? A white boy getting molested, it does not make sense. Gang violence in the white community does not make sense. Like I told y'all the other day when Jerry Springer, when that shit was popping on TV, white people was lining up taking that nigga to court. Get this shit off of TV. We don't want this shit on TV because we don't want our kids seeing this shit and getting acting like this. So what we trying to show y'all is those words, molested, pedification, broken home, it makes sense in their community because it don't supposed to exist. But in the black community, it kind of don't make sense because we don't have the security they have. And they smart enough when we trying to show y'all, they doing it for the fucking money. All these statistics that they doing. All this shit coming into the spine into the black neighborhood, and a lot of people coming, they don't even realize. A lot of black people who go into their schools or going to who knows, trying to be psychologists, trying to be community active, don't realize the shit you reporting is going back to them. And what they're trying to figure out is how to get money out of this shit. The poverty, the broken homes, the molestations, all this shit, they're trying to figure out how to get money out of this shit. And we don't realize it. And some of us do because some of us end up doing it for the money. And I use an example saying that one time during the family reunions and shit that I attended, the elder women would be in the house and that was their time for healing. They might have had, one of them might have had an abusive nigga. But that was her time because the whole idea when you got trauma, when you done been through a trauma experience is to talk about it. And talking about it, release that energy. It's nothing but energy from that situation. Talk about it. Not saying you shouldn't get out of that situation. Not saying if you got a man that's around that's molesting you shouldn't get him out of that situation. But what I'm trying to show you is we had a system. The same system that they trying to lead us to saying get you a therapist. We already had a therapy going on and we didn't even realize it. And our women, I guess they created that shit. Who knows? Organically, if I guess that's the right word, but they realize this spine and we don't realize they got a mean blocking game too. What we've been trying to show y'all, if you look at this shit from a pimping, hoeing standpoint, then you would understand a lot of shit that's going on. They got a mean blocking game too. So they knowing this is how niggas are getting their therapy through this system. We got to stop them from doing that. We got to make them feel like that system is no good. And one thing we need to think about is, how the fuck you going to invite us to a different system that's better than the system we got when you have all that motherfucking security, yet molestation is going on over there. Pedification is going on over there. The white church or Catholic church molesting little boys and been doing it for who knows how many years. So why would we listen to them in any fucking kind of way? It makes sense over here because we do not have the security. It don't make sense over there because y'all got all the security in the world. So they coming over here trying to show us, invite us, make us feel like this shit we doing is no good, for they can get the money. For they can create an economical system out of our misery, out of our misery, out of our trauma, out of our dramatization, or whatever the word is. They got enough sense and we don't realize it. And a lot of niggas have joined them. I'm not saying you're wrong. If you have joined them and if you do it for the money, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just here to educate the young black woman who can receive this, the young older black woman who can get this. Here's something none of us are looking at. And we complain. I keep seeing it all over the internet where people are complaining about the way the white man treat black people. And it's like, do y'all not understand that white people are Christians? Do y'all not understand this is for awareness TikTok. The Ku Klux Klan is Christian. What the fuck do you think that cross is? Follow the cross from its inception. It's gonna lead you to Europe. I know it's gonna lead you to other places, but they came out of Europe with the cross. You're not understanding. Let us break this Bible down if we go a little bit further back. And I know how y'all have been taught in the black community. I know how the black church have taught this understanding. But let's look at it from the way they looking at it to try to help you figure out what's going on. In the story of Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar, right? In that story, it's further breakdown in the New Testament that all that story is talking about was that the bondwoman, which was Hagar, could not receive the promise. She couldn't be in the promise. And I know how niggas are explaining this story. I'm trying to show you how to look at it from where they look at it. That's all it's explaining. And the promise that was given to them, you have to understand what the fuck is the promise that was given to them. This whole motherfucking planet. Africa. What we now call the United States of America. This is the promise that their God gave to them. And according to Christianity, their Bible, it says the bond people cannot receive this promise. You dig it? Who was in bondage, nigga? According to their history. According to the history we received. Who was in bondage? And I wouldn't give a fuck if you have a non-racist Christian. They understand this. Nigga, you was in bondage, and according to the scripture, you cannot receive the fucking promise that we can receive. Now, do you understand what's really going on? But you can't see it because you have been taught a different meaning. But you're not looking at it from their perspective. All this shit they accomplished was part of the promise that was given to them. Now you understand when we say we got black people in religion that's helping perpetuate their rule. And some people don't give a fuck. They see it, but they just don't give a fuck. Now do you get it? They feel like, nigga, you was in bondage. And you don't even understand that we was free and we was never in bondage. And a promise was given to us. And we have fulfilled that promise. We have received that promise. And you think you can partake in that promise? That's against the scripture. You understand? So a lot of shit we do not understand because we misled. And religion is purposely blinding our eyes from seeing what they're doing and how they're doing it because religion is using the same books to do it to us. This is what we're trying to break down to y'all or to the young black woman to help her understand if you're going to tell a story, babe, incriminate everybody that's part of this bullshit. So your children can raise up and they can really see what's going on. They won't be thinking, this motherfucker is my partner, because understand in the Christian religion, the whole aim is to put your enemy in your house. You got to, how you going to run a house when you feel like, okay, there's going to be some respect in this motherfucking house. But the Christian religion, not saying it's wrong, but I'm just showing you something. It's built on causing confusion and problems in the fucking household and putting your enemy in your house. So it's like, that's contradictory to everything you're trying to do. Not saying it's wrong, but we trying to just show y'all who is part of this shit and how they looking at this shit and why they doing the shit they doing. Because a lot of us don't realize they looking at it from a Christian standpoint. This was our promise. And we received the promise. And y'all was in bondage. So how in the fuck y'all gonna ever partake in this motherfucking promise? That's against the rules of Christianity. No cap, just a whole lot of cap.